Welcome to the continuation of our English lessons. We're going to take a look at composition, report writing. Also, make sure that if you haven't, of course, bought these two pamphlets, the exam data for mathematics and the exam data for English, each going at 45 kwacha. Let's get started. So, the report. What is it all about? So a report is an account of what happened or some sort of an explanation of what happened. That's what a report is all about. Okay, it always explains something that has happened in the past. So it's all about reporting what has happened in the past. Okay. So what are the types of reports? Okay. So there are what are called minor reports, which are the ones that are expected of you in an exam. Of course, not always, but most of the times it's minor reports. Okay, what are minor reports? So minor reports are reports which are short and do not have subheadings. So they are short and do not have subheadings. Okay, you understand this with examples, of course. Okay. They are the ones that come the most in paper one as compared to major reports. So the other type of reports are called major reports. Okay, so these major reports have subheadings and include reports written for geography projects, lab experiments, even performance of a certain section at a company. When you start working, of course, it would be required of you to write a report for the performance of what you do or of machines or of whatever in a month, in a year, in a week. Okay, so most of such kind of reports are major reports. Okay, so the main difference between minor reports and major reports is headlines or subheadings, to be specific, not headlines, subheadings. So major reports have subheadings, while minor reports don't have subheadings. Okay, like I said, you're going to understand better with examples. So let's take a look at some of the key points of writing a report. So a report title should always be in capital letters, focusing on the main issue to be written. Just like any other title I've discussed so far, it should talk about what's going to be written. Okay, it should be on top, capital letters, underlined. Okay, that's how a title for a report should be. So here are examples of titles. So we can have this title: a report on the theft activities that happened in Kanyama on 24th of October 2024. Another example: a report on the activities conducted by the ministry in Kazungula in the month of October. Last example: a report outlining issues raised on performance improvement by the School Jets Club on the annual general meeting of 2023. So this is how the heading of a report should be. Another point is a report is always written with the use of the past tense form of the verb. What does it mean? You have to use past tense because you're reporting something that happened in the past. So don't use present tense or future tense. You have to use past tense because you're reporting what happened in the past. Okay. Also, reported speech should be used. Okay. For example, if the thing you're about to report, there was someone who said something, you don't have to use the actual words that were said. You have to write them in reported speech. What do I mean? By the way, before I can even show you, direct speech can be used only to quote something important that was said, but not most of the times. So in short, most of the times we use reported speech, not direct speech. Direct speech is where the actual words that the person spoke are used. So we don't do direct speech. It's only reported speech. Unless in a case where what was said is very important and it it may impact how other points are going to come, or it may affect the way someone can understand everything that you're going to write. Okay, so in short, you only write direct speech when it's important, when what was said is very important. Okay, I'll show that the example. I just want to emphasize on this other point. You have to use third person narrative pronoun. So what does it mean, third person narrative pronoun? When you're watching a movie, then you watch that movie, then you go and tell your friend. You don't say I, okay, we, no. You say they did this, then he did this, then she did this. Those are third person pronoun, as if you're just watching what's happening, then you're narrating it. Okay, that's how to go about it. A report should be written to inform and not to entertain. We discussed narrative composition, where we emphasize on the need to make it entertaining. Okay, but a report, no, you give information. Okay, you answer questions like what happened, who was there, when did it happen, how did it happen. Okay, so those are the questions that you have to, when someone needs your report, should have answers to. Okay, so a report is about informing someone so that they know what happened even if they were not there. Okay, make sure that you include the writer's full name. In some cases, report might require writing the date. Okay, when you start working at some point, of course, if you're already working, yeah, the format of report can vary from company to company. Okay, yeah, but for school purposes, just make sure that you write the name of the person who wrote the report. Okay, so don't forget to show that. And sometimes you may write the date, or sometimes you can indicate the date in the title. Okay, so going back to the issue of reported speech and direct speech. So here's an example. Here is a direct speech. So instead of, the chairman said Zambia shall be great. Okay, you write it in the direct speech. I mean, you write it in the reported speech like this. The chairman said that Zambia should be great. The chairman said that Zambia should be great, because we're reporting what the chairman said some years ago, some days ago, some minutes ago. Okay. Okay, so we continue. So now, when you're writing a report, all the steps, the experiences, or the activities should be written in chronological order. What it means to write in chronological order is you write with what happened first. Okay, so you have to describe what happens first, what followed, and all. And this is actually the biggest task in an exam. So you may be given points, but these points may be jumbled. Okay, they are not in sequence. They are not describing what followed what. Okay, they're just everywhere. So your job is to read through and try to, to reconstruct them, to put them in order. This happened, maybe this happened, maybe this happened, till they make sense. Then now you write a report based on your rearrangement of the points. Okay, let's picture this scenario. The first point says, after that, the woman was heard shouting, Kawalala. The second point, firstly, the man identified as Jones was seen by witness following the woman. Is this seen correct? The spelling for seen. Okay, the man identified as Jones was seen by witness following the woman. Third point says the man was seen running away from the woman carrying a purse in his hands. So now your job is to reconstruct this so that they are in chronological order. So which sequence makes sense here? After that, of course, when there's after that, it means there must be something before that, right? So after that, the woman was heard shouting Kawalala. Okay, so what made this woman shout Kawalala? Okay, firstly, the man identified as Jones was seen by a witness following the woman. Maybe this man is what made the woman shout Kawalala. So we expect this point to come first before this one. And the fact that they're saying firstly, maybe it should help us think that actually this might be the first point. Okay. Then the third is the man was seen running away from the woman carrying a purse in his hand. Oh, okay. So we can say firstly, the man identified as Jones was seen by the witness following the woman. Then maybe let's see if we put this. After that, the woman was heard shouting Kawalala. Then third, the man was seen running away from the woman. Also, after the woman shouted, the man ran away. So this is the first point, the second point, and the third point. So we can rearrange them like this. First point, firstly, the man identified as Jones was seen by a witness following the woman. After that, the woman was heard shouting Kawalala, and the man was seen running away from the woman carrying a purse in his hand. This makes sense now. So that's the job in an exam. Okay, you have to make sure that the points are making sense. Okay. So there's a question here so that we see how to make use of what we have discussed. You're a member of your neighborhood watch committee. So a neighborhood watch committee, it's a group of people who watch out for thieves in the neighborhood when everyone is asleep. Also, any kind of crime, they make sure that they are there. Okay, so it can be a group of people. Then each day there is going to be someone on duty just like that. So write the report to the officer in charge detailing what led to the arrest of a suspect identified as Jones. Your report should be between 250 to 350 words. Use the following points. So the points are: a man identified as Jones was closely following the woman named Mrs. Perry. The man was seen trying to escape the woman. Mrs. Perry was heard shouting on top of her voice, Kawalala. Passerby, it's supposed to be passers-by, chased after the man. Okay, so passers-by are those people just passing by. Okay, dogs overtook all the chasers. Dogs managed to get hold of the man. Everyone joined and started beating the man. Police received a call from the woman named Mrs. Tolwe. Police arrived on the scene 40 minutes later. The chase lasted for about 10 hours. 10 minutes. Dogs in the neighborhood joined the chase. Jones arrested. So if you look at this, it might seem like this is the proper sequence of events, but there are some points that don't make sense. So a man identified as Jones was closely following the woman named Mrs. Perry. Okay. The man was seen trying to escape the woman. Why is this man trying to escape the woman? It's not making sense. There must be something that happened in between. So we can see that there must be a point here. Okay, Mrs. Perry was heard shouting on top of her voice, Kawalala. This shouting might have caused this man trying to escape. So maybe we take this as the first point. You can get a pencil. If you have a pencil or a pen, then you can write 1 here since you think this is the first point, 1. Then you write this point 2. Then this maybe point 3. But let's see what happened. Okay. Passerby chased after the man. Okay, we can be sure that the man was being chased when he was seen trying to escape. So this point will follow this point. So this might be point 4. Dogs overtook all the chasers. What are these dogs? Who talked about dogs? Okay, so it becomes we need the point that talks about dogs before we can talk about dogs overtaking all the chasers. So dogs managed to get hold of the man. So we can see that this point is in the future. Everyone joined and started beating the man. Again, the man is not yet caught because we don't know how dogs found themselves in this chase. So police received a call from a woman named Mrs. Cholwe. Police were looking for something that has to do with dogs. Okay, the chase lasted for about 10 minutes. Dogs in the neighborhood joined the chase. So this is the point. Dogs in the neighborhood joined the chase. So this point must follow when the man was still trying to escape the woman. Passerby chased. Yes, so when passerby chased after the man, then dogs also joined the chase. Okay, it can't be dogs joining the chase when there's no chase. So the passerby must have been chasing after the man when dogs joined. So after dogs joined the chase, we can say, okay, now we can go back to dogs. Dogs overtook all the chasers. Making sense? Dogs managed to get hold of the man, again making sense since they were in front. Okay, so everyone joined in and started beating the man. Yes, this case after the dogs have gotten the man. Yeah, it makes sense. Okay, then police received a call from a woman named Mrs. Chorwe. Okay. Police arrived on the scene 40 minutes later after they were called. Yeah, makes sense. The chase lasted for about 10 minutes. They're still talking about the chase. So this chase lasted after for about 10 minutes. It must come after the dogs caught the man. Okay, so after the dogs caught the man, then the chase lasted for about 10 minutes. Then everyone joined and started beating the man after the man was caught. So we've stopped talking about the chase. Okay, so the chase lasted for about 10 minutes here. Okay, then after that, we can say after the chase lasted for about 10 minutes, that's when we can bring this point. Everyone joined and started beating the man. Okay, then of course after that, maybe that's when Mrs. Chorwe called the police. That's when police arrived 40 minutes later. Okay, then Jones was arrested. Okay, so it's all about you analyzing. You can rearrange them in a different way, but at the end of the day, it should make sense, because when you're writing your report, you need to join these points in the way in such a way that they are making sense. So how you join them will determine if they are making sense or not. Okay, so you cannot join them the way I've done, but maybe you can do it in a different way, but at the end of the day, explain in such a way that it makes sense. Okay, so now with all the joining we have done, how do we write a report? So after we have identified that you're going to write this point as 1, this as 2, this as 3, this as 4, this as 5, this as 6. Okay, you spend some good time there. You're expected to do this in 50 minutes, the whole composition. So maybe 10 minutes we invest it in coming up with better points, then 40 minutes writing. Okay, so here is my composition. A report on the events that led to the arrest of a suspect identified as Jones on 24th March 2024. So this is my title. Okay, after my title, I start my introduction. On the evening of March 24th, 2024, a series of events unfolded in the vicinity of Main Street involving a man identified as Jones and a woman known as Mrs. Phiri. Witnesses reported that Jones was observed closely following Mrs. Phiri, exhibiting suspicious behavior. Mrs. Phiri, visibly distressed, was heard shouting the word Kawalala. So this is just the introduction to give people an idea of what the report is all about. It may not be a good introduction because it has done its part, because it has talked about what happened. It has also talked about who were involved, Mrs. Phiri and a man identified as Jones. So it's good, but maybe here I was supposed to start now the main body. Okay, witnesses reported that Jones was observed. Okay, but even this, it's okay. Okay, so this is your introduction. People know that this is about a theft incident that involves Mrs. Phiri and someone named Jones. Okay, and it happened on 24th of March 2024. If you want, you can even include the place or the area where this happened. Okay, you can say, okay, this happened in Charara. Okay, such kind of introducing the situation or the scene. Okay, so now we go to the next sentence. Okay, upon realizing that he was being pursued, Jones attempted to flee from Mrs. Phiri, prompting bystanders to intervene. Passers-by, sensing the urgency of the situation, joined the pursuit in an attempt to apprehend Jones. The chase ensued for approximately 10 minutes, with Jones evading capture until the involvement of neighborhood dogs after the cause of events. Okay. Yes, the English is completely different from the points we were given, but it's okay if you use the same English. But of course, you just need to add few words to connect. Okay. But of course, I thought maybe I use a bit of good English here. Maybe you can steal a word or two so that you can be using in your own reports. Okay. So let me go to sentence number 3. Several dogs from the neighborhood spontaneously joined the pursuit, quickly outpacing the human chasers. With remarkable agility and speed, the dogs managed to corner Jones, effectively preventing his escape. In a surprising turn of events, the dogs succeeded in apprehending Jones before any human could reach him. Okay? Then after that, following Jones' capture, a crowd gathered and emotions ran high as individuals vented their anger and frustration towards the suspect. Amidst the commotion, a concerned citizen named Mrs. Chovwe contacted the local authorities, alerting them to the unfolding situation. Okay, so Mr. Chovwe has contacted the police, and the police have to come now. Approximately 40 minutes after the initial call, law enforcement officers arrived at the scene and swiftly took control of the situation. Jones was promptly arrested and taken into custody for further questioning and investigation into his actions. And now I can conclude. In conclusion, the swift intervention of bystanders and the unexpected involvement of neighborhood dogs led to the successful apprehension of Jones, ensuring the safety and well-being of Mrs. Perry and the community at large. Okay, my report is done. I can now even put my name there. Milimo Alex, Neighborhood Watch Committee member, Mazabuka. Okay, so you have to put your name there. You may even just type Milimo Alex, Neighborhood Watch Committee member, it's okay. Even Milimo Alex, Mazabuka, it's okay. Whichever identifies you. Okay, so this is how to do a report. Now we have talked this. The one I'm talking about is a minor report. Okay. What about a major report? A major report is the one when you go to college or university. If you be doing scientific, technical courses, which involves labs, you need to produce a report. Of course, each institution has got its own layout. Okay, but of course, it may most reports may include the following features. So I'm going to show an example of a major report which has subheadings. Remember, the main difference between a minor report and a major report are subheadings. In the major report, it's big, so you need subheadings so that to keep the reader attentive to what is being discussed. Okay, because if you don't put subheadings, they may be reading thinking that they're in the introduction, not knowing that they have gone into the main body already. They may be in the main body, not knowing that they have gone into something else. Okay. So, sorry, this was just a repeat. So here's the title of a report on the safety concerns of employees in the workplaces conducted on 24th of March 2024. So there's no question here. This is just a layout, how to go about it and some major features, because most of the times we write a minor report. But of course, in my in the pamphlet exam data for English, the questions are there, even exam questions and solutions, so that it is easy for you to check what you write, comparing it with how it can be written. Okay, so in case you're interested in that, of course, you can check the description for the link where you can make the order. Okay, so of course, we start with the introduction. So in the major report, you have to write the subheading, introduction, okay, conclusion, and then normally there's no main body. Main body is made of different sections also. Okay, if of course it's a lab report, it's going to have maybe procedure on how you were doing whatever you were doing, apparatus, what you were using to do your experiments, okay, observations, okay, recommendations and the likes. Okay, so of course you will always be guarded. You will always be guarded. So introduction. Several employees have raised concerns regarding safety hazards in the workplace, citing issues such as inadequate lighting, slippery floors, and malfunctioning equipment. Okay, that's the introduction there. Then, since there was this, there were these concerns about the safety hazards, So maybe people are sent there to go and check. So these are the findings. So the subheading is findings. What was discovered? An inspection conducted on March 24, 2024 confirmed the presence of safety hazards throughout the premises, including poorly lit corridors, spills on the floor, and malfunctioning machinery. These conditions pose a significant risk to the health and well-being of employees. Okay, so after the findings, what comes next? Okay, so this you'll be guided if it's at school or at work. Okay, analysis. Okay, so after those findings, so now the next part is analysis. You write a subheading like that. So the lack of proper safety protocols and maintenance procedures contributes to an unsafe work environment, increasing the likelihood of accidents and injuries. Failure to address these concerns promptly could result in legal liabilities and damage to the company's reputation. Okay, now what do we recommend? So normally, before the conclusion, there's recommendations. So recommendations is what do you recommend, what do you suggest should be done? Immediate action is recommended to address the identified safety hazards, including improving lighting conditions, improving regular maintenance checks, and providing network training to employees on safety procedures. Additionally, establishing a culture of safety awareness and accountability is essential to prevent accidents and ensure compliance with the regulatory standards. So this is what is being recommended. After that, you can now conclude. So conclusion. The findings highlight the urgent need for proactive measures to prioritize employee safety in the workplace. By addressing safety concerns promptly and implementing effective risk management strategies, organizations can create a safe and healthy environment conducive to employee well-being and productivity. You then sign off the report by, of course, indicating your name, Senior Sheikh Officer M. Florence. Okay, so this is how to tackle major reports. So normally this is going to be guided, but normally it has the introduction. There's of course the main board, which can be made of different parts depending on what you are about to write. You are going to be guided. Then of course the recommendation is always there, and the conclusion. Okay, recommendation is what you suggest should be done. So before I can, of course, say goodbye, don't forget to get your hands on this soft copy pamphlet, which has notes which are connected to these videos you are watching if you're not in my class, examples to various types of compositions, exercises, videos, video lessons, solutions, video solutions, exam questions with solutions. Okay, so in case you're interested, you can check in the description. There's a link where you can press so that you get in touch to make an order. See you in the next lesson.